Hey guys, this is Zach with NeXTech News, and today we're going to do one last video on my LG 4K monitor. Actually, scratch that. It won't be my last video. I'll continue to answer questions about it. But that's what this video is going to be about today. We're going to answer some questions that people have been having about this monitor and kind of highlight the biggest things and features of this monitor. Let's get it started! So this is the LG 27UD68-W 4K monitor. The W is important because they do have two other models. So if you're looking for this one in particular, this is the W. It is a 27-inch 4K IPS monitor with 300 nits of brightness and a color depth of 10 bits. It also has really good viewing angles, which LG is claiming to be 178 degrees. Two of the biggest features about this monitor are the matte finish and FreeSync. The matte finish, you can very clearly see the difference between the glare coming off of my Surface Pro 4 and no glare coming off of my 4K monitor here. The next big feature is AMD FreeSync. This is an AMD FreeSync monitor, which is a proprietary software built for AMD GPUs at the moment. It is based on the VESA Adaptive Sync technology, and basically AMD has just rebranded it as FreeSync. NVIDIA technically could support FreeSync, but if they ever did that, they would probably just say they're supporting VESA Adaptive Sync, and it probably wouldn't work anyways. That's what I meant in the past videos. Obviously, I hope NVIDIA would support FreeSync eventually, because technically they could, because it's only software implementation, unlike G-Sync, which is hardware. So we'll see. So I'll answer some questions now from the YouTube comments about this monitor. First question is from GeekOFreakOTech. Hey, one question, is the height of the monitor adjustable? Sadly, the monitor is not adjustable. If you take a look here, this is actually the old stand. As you can see, there is a clip for wire management stuff, but there is no adjustability or anything like that. The monitor actually goes in here with just two little screws, and then the monitor has a tilt, but there is no adjustability as far as height. That is why I do suggest getting a monitor stand like this, because then you can change the height of the monitor and change the orientation any way you want, obviously. So next question is by Toby.Nakshun. Hey man, I have a really important question for you. Can you plug in audio jack into the back of the monitor for external sound? Yes, you can. It has an auxiliary jack or a 3.5mm headphone jack in the back of the monitor. I don't really see the point of it when you can plug in, obviously, like I have my Logitech Z605 speakers here plugged into the computer rather than the monitor itself, just because then you have more control over the actual sound going to your speakers. The output from this is pretty good, but I prefer plugging it directly into the actual computer. Okay. Next question is from Rohan Bangui. I'm really sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm not good with names. What is the height of the center of the monitor from the ground? Let's find out. I removed the stand, so that's not really gonna help. I will put the stand here. Okie dokie, and here is a ruler. Okay, this is a rough estimate, but I would say it's roughly 10 inches from the bottom of the stand to the center of the monitor. Okay, next question is from Electric Archer. By the way, does this have an HDMI port? If so, how many? So this monitor does have an HDMI port. It has two HDMI ports and one display port and then one auxiliary port. It doesn't have any USB. And that is literally all the ports that are on the back of it. This monitor is kind of limited for ports, That is one advantage of going with one of the slightly more expensive models that does come with more ports on the back. Okay, next question is from Pace Beats. I'm looking at buying this and mounting it on the wall as the stand looks flimsy and like it can break easily, and looks like it can break easily. My last LG 27-inch LED monitor cracked off the stand, so I'm not taking any chances. Pace Beats, I would agree with you. Do not take chances because this stand is very flimsy. It is not, it has a weight on the bottom. You know, it's decent, but this is plastic. It's not gonna hold it up very well. That's why I decided to go with this monitor arm, which is a gas one. That way, you know, you can put it in any orientation, you don't have to worry about it falling off, whatever. It's safe the way it is now. Plus it looks a lot better. So next question is from Ivanos Iko. Did you overclock the monitor? And if you did, how far did it go? I did overclock the monitor. I have another video where I did, you know, test out how far it would be able to be overclocked and everything like that. In that video, we were able to get it to 72, and when that video ended, I was able to run it at 72. I even ran Rocket League at 72 because I had Rocket League set to run at the same rate as the hertz of the monitor. Later, I ended up finding out that it did start having some frame skipping and that kind of thing at 72, and so I ended up backing it down to 70, and that's what it's at currently. Actually, it's been running at 70 since then, and it runs really good at 70. So that's where I would say the max stable overclock is for this monitor. Next question is from Arch Abdulrahman. I would really appreciate it if you could tell me where did you get it from and how much did it cost. I was looking for it on Amazon but didn't find any, thanks. So this is the LG 27 UD68-W monitor. It is only $499, which isn't the cheapest thing, but as far as 4K monitors go, that is extremely good price, especially for what you're getting. There are two other models for this monitor though. I'll post those in my description as well, and some more links to actually buying this monitor, the one I have, which I got from my local Best Buy. And that way you guys can find it, get to it, buy it if you want it. Plus you can see the benefits of those other two. Like I said, the other two, pretty much the exact same panel. Pretty much one is solid black and a little bit, it's like $100 more, I believe. And then the other one has extra ports and stuff like that. I'll have links to all of those in the description though. So next question is from Thanasis Fraco. I have a 1080p monitor. Is it worth it buying this LG 4K monitor, or should I spend my money on an iPhone 6s? My PC can support 4K at 40 to 45 FPS with high ultra settings. Honestly, that's more of a question of preference. I really like this monitor. It's a great product for the money. So if you think 4K is something you want to do, and honestly 45 to 50 FPS isn't terrible, as long as your system can do that kind of thing and you're okay with those frame rates, I don't see anything wrong with getting a 4K monitor. Obviously, if you're in the need of a phone, maybe that's a little bit more important because that's something you deal with every single day. Whereas a monitor is just something you're looking at. It really is personal preference if it's 1080p or 4K. But as of now, this is a great monitor for a great price, and you couldn't go wrong with getting it. So next question is by Thrun S. Yadla. How's it like to use 4K at 100% scaling in 27-inch monitor? Honestly, Thrun, it's not bad. As you can see, it is 4K right now. Things are pretty tiny, but I don't know if it's just me, but I have pretty decent eyesight. I prefer it just where it's at the 4K scaling. Obviously you can make things bigger. It's not that big of a deal if you do, but I like the way everything looks. I like the screen real estate. I like everything about the scaling right now as is at 4K. So that's the way I've left it. Obviously some other people might have different preferences though. So next question is from Chill Me Joey. This monitor is really good for its price. Looks good, small bezel, slim design, and the stand's cable management capabilities. Only problem is it doesn't have many ports. Again, I agree with you, Joey. Like I said, for you, probably the better monitor then would be one of the slightly more expensive ones that do have more ports and even include USB support. However, you know, maybe you don't want to spend that extra money. That was me. I did not want to spend extra money on some USB ports and stuff like that. I preferred this one. It was the cheaper monitor. Plus, this is the one my Best Buy had, so that's the one I got. So next question is from Jakub Maures. Nice video. I bought this monitor too. Which GPU do you have powering this monitor? So to answer your question, I actually have 970s. It's actually two of them. They're both running in SLI right now. The only reason I have two 970s rather than a 980 Ti or something like that is actually because I bought a 970 and then later down the road I was looking to upgrade my hardware and decided just to buy another 970 because at that time that's where my money was. And obviously that ended up being pretty much the same price as buying one 980 Ti, which had I had the money when I first started the build, that's what I would have chosen. So next question is from Agape Paul Marundan. Hello, what happens if you run a lower resolution, let's say 1440p or 1080p? Will you get a higher refresh rate? I might get this monitor just for general use production like gaming such as CSGO or L4D2. My R9 290 can push source games at 300 FPS overkill at 1080p. Thanks. Agree. That is way overkill. If you have a setup that can push 4K, honestly, don't see why not. That's what ended up happening here. I upgraded my GPUs, started being able to play light 4K gaming and stuff, and so I was like, might as well get a 4K monitor. And let's test it on the high refresh rate. Let's see if you can overclock it a little bit more if you lower the resolution. Don't think you can. Think that's pretty much set, but we'll see. So let's open up NVIDIA Control Panel and try a 1440p resolution with 73 Hz since we know that's our cutoff. So 1440p doesn't work at 73 Hz. Let's try 1080p at 73 Hz. Nope, that did not work. So lowering the resolution does not allow you to overclock the monitor more. So that was the end of the questions. If you guys have any more questions, please post them in the comments, and I'll have another video going over those. If you like this video, please click that like button down below, and if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. This is Zach with NeXTech News. See ya!